Good evening and namaskar to everyone. Uh, I really feel it a great, fortunate moment for me to get acquainted with many luminaries which I would otherwise never have met before in my life. So thank you very much for all of this, the honor bestowed on me. And I'm really grateful to Professor Gurudas Nulkar who actually initiated this, and otherwise I won't have got this opportunity to know all of you. And I am also proud to be a recipient of the same award that was also received by my guru, Professor Madhav Gadgil, and many other people with whom I have worked for a long time, including Dr. Vandana Shiva and others, Anupam Mishra. What I'd be sharing with you is, instead of just describing the details of biodiversity and others, it's a brief journey that I want to share with you, why I came to this, the conservation of rice diversity, and then that led to many other avenues of sustainability. Next one, please. When we talk about sustainability in agriculture, the primary material of sustainability is the seeds of agriculture. And the principle of this agroecology, that is agricultural sustainability and sovereignty of the farmer, sovereignty of a nation for its food production, is zero dependence on any external agency. So zero dependence for the seeds, for the agrochemicals, for machinery, for fossil fuel, anything that is that makes the farmer dependent on an external agency, whether it's the government or NGOs or bank, it's not sustainable. So that is the goal. But people can get this zero dependence on chemicals, especially that's the logic of organic movement all over the world. But it must begin with the seeds, because the seed industry has actually usurped the authority and the ownership of diversity and sustainability. So the primary requirement is the sovereignty of the farmers over their own seeds. Now, this seeds availability is the primary one with which we started with the next one, please. We all remember that the seeds were not created by any industry. Seeds were not created by any scientist. Seeds were not created by industrial revolution. Seeds were created, seeds of all domesticated and cultivated crops all over the world, whether it's rice or brinjal or banana or potato. These are all created by ancient farmers 10,000 years ago to 12,000 years ago. That marked the first agricultural revolution in human history. And all these seeds were created not by God, nor by natural selection of evolution, but by artificial selection in the hands of farmers, whom I call unknown, unnamed scientists. So all of these domesticated crops did not and still do not occur in the wild, never occur in nature, just like dogs or other domesticated animals. But it's not only the species that were created by artificial selection by ancient early cultivators, early domesticators, but they also enormously expanded the genetic diversity of each crop. And the record holder in the world is Indian rice. The rice, which belongs to the one single species, Oryza sativa, the subspecies is indica, which is the Indian rice. It used to have 140,000 varieties in the Indian subcontinent, according to Dr. Richaria. When we eliminate the synonyms, that is, the same variety had 2 or 3 names, then it comes down to 110,000 varieties in India alone. That's the enormous diversity, genetic diversity, which means varieties. And similarly, on other countries, so whether it's corn, wheat, potato, chili, banana, papaya, mango, all of these domesticated crops had thousands and thousands of varieties. Now, all these varieties were existing until the advent of the Green Revolution, after which, or since which time, all these varieties got decimated. The erosion of genetic diversity took place. And now today we have very small percentage, very small fraction of all this diversity existing today on farmers' fields. So we had all these, go ahead, millet diversity, then aubergine or brinjal diversity. Of this brinjal diversity, India used to have more than 350 varieties of brinjals. In Bengal, there used to be about 150. On our own farm, we are growing 30 varieties of brinjals of different colors, shapes, size, and all of these. And then we had rice varieties. Of these 110,000 varieties that existed in India until 1970, we are now left with just 6,000 varieties in the entire subcontinent. And just 6,000. So this massive genocide from 110,000 to 6,000, nobody talks about it. That's what, as an ecologist, I felt this was an urgent need. Everybody was talking about tiger and rhino and leopard and elephant and lions, but nobody was talking about this hundreds of thousands of varieties of crops, species which are lost altogether. I am not a trained botanist. I was not trained as an agriculturist. But I was really shocked to learn that agriculture departments or the agricultural scientists are not talking about it, let alone taking any measure to stop this genetic erosion. So I thought that, let's do something. As a conscious citizen, I would start conserving it, and when more competent people would come over, I'd be relieved from this task. But I'm still continuing, and so all of these hundreds of varieties had enormous number of properties. Not only morphological properties like different colors and shapes and size and taste and aroma, but also many kinds of biochemical properties like nutraceutical properties, which are not yet explored fully because nobody talks about it. Nobody has done any kind of comprehensive research in it. Of these 6,000 extant varieties, which is estimatedly existing in India, that's according to ICAR estimate. Fortunately, over the past 25 years, I have collected 1,435 varieties. All of these I'm growing on my farm, Vasudha, every year, and we are giving the seeds for free to all the farmers, whoever wants to grow them. So that's how that's the object of conserving those rice varieties on farm. There are, apart from these morphological properties, colors and size and shapes, there are very important agronomic properties. Like we have salt-tolerant varieties. On our own farm, we have 17 salt-tolerant rice, and it's not only salt-tolerant; they actually grow in seawater. This is some property which genetic engineers are actually looking around the world for, searching for this particular gene, which they call gene mining. They have not yet come across, but they were already in existence. They are still in existence among these indigenous farmers. Similarly, we have flood-tolerant varieties. In my own collection, there are dozens of varieties which can grow in 12 feet deep water. I repeat, 12 feet deep water. And the farmers have to harvest this rice on board a canoe. Of course, the farmers cannot get drowned while harvesting. We have about 17 varieties which are very strongly resistant to drought conditions. And 5 of them don't require a single drop of irrigation, a single drop of water for irrigation after transplanting. Just a spell of rain is enough. These are the amazing varieties which were and still are in the hands of marginal farmers, which are neglected and ignored by the agricultural development policy and agricultural scientists. I'll share with you one amazing variety that I'm always proud of. This is a variety called Sateen from Bengal. This is the only variety which contains 3 kernels in each grain. Ek ek dhan mein teen chawl. And this is an amazing variety which is beyond the imagination of any genetic engineers in the world. And I happen to be the last repository of this variety in the world. This is a word of pride indeed, but also I share this sorrow as well, because the farmer who gave me this seed had died, and after his death, his successors, his sons and daughters, discontinued this. So it's actually lost forever from the world, excepting on Basudha farm, because we are conserving them. And there are hundreds and hundreds of similar, amazing varieties which were in existence in the world, but we simply don't know their properties because they are all lost forever. We have this another amazing variety, many varieties. The last line usually is, say this long name, IR68144 2B223. It's a long name because it was developed in IRRI in collaboration with some other biotechnology giants, in inviting something like $30 million investment. Of course, it deserves that long name because of that big investment. And they claim that this is the only variety which contains huge amount of iron. And this is the largest amount of iron that rice could have, which is 8.9 milligram per 100 gram of cooked rice. So 8.9 milligram. When I was analyzing 500 varieties of Indian rice, 500 varieties that are in the hands of farmers, we encountered more than 68 varieties which contain 20 times higher iron content than this genetically modified iron fortified rice, that long name rice. And a few examples are this. Dudhe Bolta, it contains 130 milligrams, 68 milligrams, 85 milligrams, and so on and so forth. This is just a small snippet. There are 86 varieties, and 68 of them are 20 times more than this GM rice. So it's obvious, commonsensical approach that rather than investing so much in this, developing this new GM rice and promoting them, we should rather go for this, fantastic rice diversity with zero investment, because these are all available for free from the farmers. But common sense doesn't make sense among policymakers and industry. So the government is spending huge amount of money to invest in this kind of development and promoting that variety rather than promoting these, the easily available land races, farmers' land races. Next, please. I share with you another of our recent finding that we discovered 2 years ago. This rice is Garib Shal. It was from Purulia district of West Bengal. This was a medicinal rice, and it's a serendipitous discovery of our research in this, in search of metal content. We discovered silver in it. And this is the only rice variety in the world which contains silver, up to 15.9 ppm, that's the quantity. And this is the only variety so far known in the world. And we published it in international journals, of course, and there are the images of this atom by atom deposition of silver nanoparticles in different layers of the rice grain. And this was used by indigenous medicine people, medicine men and women, to cure gastroenteric diseases. So any kind of gastroenteric disease, amoebic dysentery and diarrhea and giardiasis. Now we know why. Now we know because the silver nanoparticles can kill off all the microbes. And they used to kill all the gut microbes, all the disease agents, and entamoeba or giardia and all of this. And this is why they recommended this rice meal every 1 day or 2 days, and that cured all these gastroenteric diseases. So this is one such example of this diversity and its value. So we are growing, it's not only rice on our own farm in Basudha. We have this 1,420 varieties, now it's increased, and of rice alone, and then there are so many other varieties of vegetables, fruits, and different kinds of vegetables, above ground and below ground, so tubers, fruits, and all this. And we not only grow them for our own consumption, but we distribute all the seeds to any farmer who wants it for free. And the reason that we give them for free is that the seed market did not exist until 1960s in any part of the world. Seed was always a free commodity. Seed was commons, a global commons. So farmers used to exchange freely. Farmers of one country to another. I mean, all this, tomato and potato that we are eating today, every day, all over the country. The chili is an essential ingredient. They were not Indian vegetables. They all came from South America. Now, no South American farmer claims any patent on it. This was freely given. Similarly, basmati rice and other rice varieties went to Roman Empire, and no Indian farmers tried a patent on it. Cabbage and cauliflower came from from Serbia area, and now whole world is consuming them. So seed was never patented, never sold on commercial basis until 1960s. So we are actually trying to reinstate that custom, the customary open exchange, open resource of seeds, free of cost. And Vrihi is the name of the rice bank, which is now the largest seed bank in the country, and where farmers can get it for free. The only condition is that when they receive, they either give something in exchange, some other seed, or give this over to other people. So the circle of exchange expands. Now there are about 7 circles of exchange that is included. The first circle of his exchange of seeds includes now about 17,000 farmers involving 1,300 varieties of rice. And this is our challenge as an alternative model to seed marketing, so that again we regain our sovereignty over our own seeds. All the farmers have their own seeds for no exchange of money. Next one, please. So it's not just this seeds, but also this all the needs to depend on agrochemicals and others, all dependent on the biodiversity. That was our raw material for entire civilization. So we increased this diversity of species, varieties, and ecosystem diversity. Please, next one. So we have taught this to farmers and the local communities, the tribal people, both in Bengal and Odisha. I started in Bengal for 16 years, and then I shifted to Odisha now. So these tribal people are, they are hunter-gatherers. They hunt birds, but they take care of these, the sick birds or the fledglings that dropped from the tree. They nurse them, and then they release in nature. That's the love and respect for nature that is rejuvenated when they learn about this biodiversity and its importance. Next one, please. We also use this bamboo microscope to train these young minds in science. They explore nature. The intricate design of the butterfly's wings or the dragonfly's wings, the intricate design of the floral pattern, the petals and the gynoecium of the flowers. And they explore many of the things, the antenna of an ant and so on and so forth. And they discover many things. They bring to me many of the things that I did not know before. That's the education which is not taught in our educational system in the schools. Next one, please. And they now know about this, the importance, the ecological importance, not monetary, not market importance, but the ecological importance for survival of every one of us. So we are trying to rediscover and engage them into rediscovering the umbilical cord of nature, which connects all of us, all humans, to the rest of nature. And so all of these, please go ahead, ants and spiders, hundreds of species of beetles, all of these are friends, without which no agriculture is sustainable. We also teach them how to handle snakes. They are friends too. And now, in the entire region, nobody kills the snakes. And as a result, there is no problem of rodents, rats and mice, which is a permanent menace, perennial menace for the farmers. They destroy these crops. Now, it's all effectively controlled by these great friends. We are teaching this how to handle cobra to this tribal girl. Next one, please. Now, some of these villagers, this dragonfly watch is a hobby, just like bird watching and butterfly watching. And this uneducated preschool child, he is an authority on this. He cannot give the zoological name of this species, but he distinctly knows which species is different from which other species, which two belong to the same species, but they are male and female. So they are experts in it. So this kind of parataxonomy goes on. We also revive this community effect, not only with this nature, but within their own traditional things. Thanks to cricket, all these sponsored games of cricket, Indians have already forgotten all these dozens and dozens of traditional sports. We have revived 6 such forgotten traditional sports, including this women's pitcher race. The women have to run without touching the pitcher, full of water, and so it's a test of balance, strength, and speed. And now it's becoming popular. From 6 districts, they come to participate in that one. Next one, please. And also archery. And when we were making this, we were accosted by the police that we were giving arms training to activists. Anyway, so that's another, and we engage both men and women for archery. Next one, please. We also engage in reviving many of the forgotten traditions of music. That's in Bengal, in Baul. There's another tradition in South Odisha. We are reviving those which were all forgotten. We revived the forgotten instruments of music too. Next one, please. And finally, the living style. One cannot be claiming a sustainability just by growing a few of the traditional varieties and organic farming unless your lifestyle and living condition, living house is also sustainable, zero external input. This is one example. This house has 0 bricks, kiln bricks. We don't burn anything so that it doesn't emit any of the greenhouse gases. It's made of adobe. 0 cement, we use lime mortar. 0 wood, we only use bamboo. And 0 plastics. Next one. And in Odisha also, next one please, the same one, look at this room, the same way. 0 bricks, 0 cement, 0 wood, and 0 plastic. And we are living comfortably, withstood 7 cyclones over the last 10 years. And so we are demonstrating good living, comfortable living with 0 external input. Next one. So with that, I conclude to give you just a glimpse of what good life and sustainability we can achieve, all of us can achieve, if we want to do so. So thank you very much and welcome to Basudha. I take this opportunity to invite all of you anytime to Basudha. Thank you very much.